Welcome everyone to the Mythologue, a D&D live stream where a cast of lore makers whips you up a fresh and unrehearsed batch of lore every single Monday night. In Dungeons and Dragons, a game master narrates a story. The players create the action in the story simply by existing and making decisions as their characters in that story. And when the fates must have their say, there is always the dice. Tonight, we have a very, very special episode for you. As you can see, we're down a couple of players from our normal cast. And so Allison has agreed to DM a very special one-shot for us. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to you.
Thanks, Bree. All right, so tonight we've got a special treat. An unlikely band of bards are finding themselves traveling through the wilderness on their way to the lure of the big city, where bigger and better things must be in store for them, but they haven't made it there yet. And tonight we find our adventurers in the small outpost of Lunashine, where they have rested and are restocking with a local merchant as they meander towards their destiny. So I will give these characters a chance to say hi to you, and we will jump right into the story. So long since I have had present. It's like high school all over again. All right. So our first party member I'd like to introduce you to is Angelico, played by our very own Marv.
I am Angelico. The pain I feel is immeasurable. I shall pierce the hearts of villains across the land.
Sorry, it's not funny.
No, it's lovely. All right, our next party member is Austriana, played by Nikki.
Hi, I'm Ari. I'm just looking for something for Miss Millie. I'm not as serious as all that, but I'm gonna have a good time along the way.
Thank you. Our next party member we will find is Murgug, played by our very own Brian.
Hey, I'm Murgug. I'm probably not as good as the rest of these guys, but if you come, I promise you'll have a good time at the show, one way or the other.
And last but certainly not least, we have Shred, played by our very own Bree.
Hello. Shred Sparks. I don't really want to talk about anything except guitar. But I guess I'm here, so we'll get it done.
As you can see, we've got quite the group of characters tonight that will be joining us for this one shot. So you are finding yourself in a local remote outpost, as I said. You have rested the night here, and now it's daybreak, and you need to just restock on supplies before you head out, meandering further towards the big city that lures you with all of the potential greatness or escape that you look for. So you've been traveling for a bit as a band, taking odd jobs, fighting off wild beasts as you travel, and now you find yourself at the small stall of this merchant who has introduced himself as Max. So as you approach, Max says, I know this is a pretty humble little outpost, and usually we have even more to offer, but shop around and buy what you'd like, of course. The best food and potions I don't have. The cart from Pinefall hasn't shown up in a couple weeks, but anything else that I can get you, I'd love to help you with.
Oh, mates, I thought you said we was gonna be someplace where they had some supplies. I feel like this man doesn't have much to offer.
I mean, I've got what I've got. I've got this hammer, and I've got and he like
I mean, I don't
glances
need a
over.
hammer though. I mean, do you have like any tobacco, or do you have like any good food that's like decent to eat on the road? Seems like your fresh food section is pretty much empty. And she like at this point pulls out a cigarette and pops her thumb up, and a little flame comes out from the top of her thumb. I'm almost out.
It's quite the neat trick. Are you all adventurers then?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're a band, maybe, kind of, sort of. Mostly I was just looking for something for Miss Millie, but also I do want that hammer. I'd like to make that very clear.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I can get you that. Is there anything else you'd like?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like some ball bearings. I'd like a grappling hook. I'd like a hammer. I'd like a lock. I'd like some manacles if you have them, but I know that's a little weird. I'd like a signal whistle, a silk rope, and a bunch of rations and a crowbar.
And he's just like scurrying around trying to find all of these things.
She's just the weirdest.
I kind of understood the manacles and the crowbar, but I have questions about the rest.
You never know what's going to come in handy.
Well, we do have like the kind of road rations that you probably seen before. Man, usually I have these cookies and other like baked goods from Pinefall, the place I mentioned earlier, that are just like to die for, like the best food I've ever had. But I don't know. I haven't heard from them in a while. But here, and like kind of as he's like finishing running around, kind of just dumps all of the stuff he's gotten into his hands onto the table and starts totaling up the cost for you, Astriana. Did anyone else here need anything?
Angelica is just like focused on the shelves and like kind of touching them. He turns like, these shelves, they are empty. Like myself. Tell me, were they once full and beautiful?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I used to get like a lot of potions and awesome food. Honestly, like it didn't last forever, but it would have kept y'all going for a while. Are you okay, man?
No, I am not. And neither are these shelves.
Oh, don't mind him. He always goes on like this. If we had a band name, we could just tell you what that was. But since we haven't been able to come up with one, then I suppose we haven't got anything to tell you. But what's with this Pine Sol place? And why haven't they been sending you any stuff?
I haven't figured that out yet. It's called Pine Fall, not Pine Sol. Not sure what that means.
Pine flesh. Yes.
No, I think you guys are missing the point though. The fact of the matter is that the supply shipment hasn't come in for over a week, and I'm getting a little concerned about that because usually the people who bring it by are pretty friendly and able. I would just go up the mountain to Pinefall myself, but my darn bum knees acting up again, and it gets pretty cold this time of year in the mountains, so I can't be messing with that. But I suppose suppose if you guys would like to figure that out for me, we could come to some sort of arrangement.
Do they have an inn that we could like play in?
Yeah, Murgog likes to play places where there aren't very many people.
Yeah, it's better that way. We don't even have a name. I mean, how are we supposed to gain notoriety with no name?
I mean,
Well-
we could have a name if y'all didn't keep suggesting creepy things.
I don't know what's wrong with death bolts. Bolts of death, it evokes a very specific image that I think is quite intimidating.
Yeah, a very
Bolts of
specific,
death.
creepy image.
Death
Yeah,
bolt.
you gotta
Everyone
be
else
more
likes it but
straightforward.
you, Ari.
Well, we agreed it has to be 4 for 4.
Blood demon dismemberment. It just works.
I like that one too. Blood demon dismemberment works for me.
Electric manticore. I have told you time and time again. Electric manticore.
See, that one's okay with me.
That's just weird. You weird types, you don't understand because no one else is weird in the same way like you are. If they were, they'd understand that band name.
You are brutish. You have no poetry in you.
Listen, we'll take the gig though if there's gold in it. How much gold is in the
Is
gig?
this a conversation y'all have often? Because it kind of seems like it is, and I'm a little.
Lead manacles.
Oh, I like that one. Blood manacles. Manacles. Blood manacles. It sounds like we're trapped by our blood, just like I am. Absolutely. It's perfect. So how much
Are
money's
you
in the
okay?
gig? How much money's in the gig? No, but that doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what. If you can find the shipment and bring it down, I'll get you as much of the baked good foods that you want, and I'll give you an ongoing discount at my marketplace coming forward. Is that good for you?
You're gonna pay us in food and coupons.
I could, and he's like frantically looking around. He's like, I could probably throw in another hammer if that would be good for you.
That'd be great for me. I mean, listen, Shred, you gotta understand that like a merchant agreeing for an ongoing discount is a real good deal. They don't do that often.
I'm so bored lately that I'll just do whatever you all think. If we can, I mean, I don't really need the money, obviously, so whatever you think, I'll take the gig for exposure.
Now, I will take it for that ongoing discount. Not just the exposure, but yeah, I mean, I think we gotta help them. I mean, that's kind of the most important part of life.
We don't even know what's happening, but she's
We
always
need help. That's what's happening.
So
I heard
so you-
everything I need to know. There's supplies there, and we can play. We have a gig. What more is there?
Definitely is. There's a nice inn up there, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to accommodate you for the night if you got some good tunes in you, which I get the impression you must. Something's got to be holding you lot together. But anyhow, I've got a little map here if you need to know the route up to Pinefall, and maybe some jackets or something I can comp if that would.
Shit. It gets cold up there. Ugh. There's nothing I hate more than the cold.
Well, it's fall and it's a mountainside, so
Yeah.
I got all this chainmail on. It's pretty. I don't know. It's heavy and fucking hot.
Right, Margot, when the sun's on it, it gets hot, but when it's cold, it's metal, and it still is going to be cold metal in the cold.
Wait, that was supposed to help?
Oh, Murgog.
Cold metal in the cold. This could be a bad name.
Oh.
All right.
Mhm.
Cold metal in the cold. What do you think?
There's a poetry to it.
There is
Sounds
wings.
a little wordy to me.
Yeah, it's not really.
Who asked you?
Oh, I'm
Do you
sorry.
play tambourine for us now?
Not an offer. I've always imagined. Okay, no, I can see now in your face that that wasn't okay.
I mean, you can try out if you want to, especially if you have. It just occurred to me to ask, do you have any dragon skin jackets? Because if you did, I would buy that. That would be cool.
We don't see many dragons around here, but I can check the back.
Figures. You probably couldn't handle it if you did, but yeah, check.
Okay, and he like walks to the back of like this stall kind of situation that he has, and just like, nope, don't seem to have anything. I do have a couple things I think might fit you. Just some more wool situation stuff that we got a while back. Would that be okay for you all, or it seems like you have a certain aesthetic going? Would that be a problem?
I'm probably good.
Yeah, I feel all right.
I have sensitive skin, but I shall wear this wool jacket.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah, no, it's cold. I'd like something.
okay. Yeah. So here's that map. If you just head up that path out of town, it should be a fairly straight shot. I mean, the cart that brings the potions and food makes it so it can't be too hard of a path, I imagine.
How long does it take to get there? Again.
Less than a. You should make it there by nightfall, I believe. Maybe even early enough to get dinner.
Sounds good.
We could play for the dinner crowd then. It'd be nice and busy at a dinner.
Yeah, if an angel here doesn't have a breakdown.
It is not a breakdown. Shelves. Let us go back over to the shelves. I shall return to you. I shall see you full and beautiful once again. He just walks out the door. Or
Hey,
shack.
yeah. Thank you. Did anyone else need anything, or just the young gal? Okay. That's fine.
Do I see any like cloaks, like anything that I could possibly get away with thinking is cool? Like anything that might like be hooded and swap me in a black flowing something, or anything that isn't just like a stupid wool jacket for a peasant.
Roll either perception or investigation to peep a cloak.
Oh, that's definitely gonna be a person. Yeah, it kind of doesn't matter, actually. Both are a +2. I rolled a 6. I'm looking with the amount of attention I give everything, which is like a bored half glance. Like,
Yeah.
if they have anything, at all cool, I guess I'll glance passingly across the rack.
So in your passing glance, you notice like an all black hooded cloak, but it looks like it's kind of worn, and it's definitely just made of like cloth. You don't really notice anything that's going to be super warm. I don't know if that cloak.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Okay.
bother. I'll leave with my friends.
Hey,
So,
Shrek. If we ever go back home, I do know someone who works with exotic leathers in my mom's guild union. So, like, I could probably introduce you if you really wanted a cool jacket.
Dragon skin?
Sometimes.
Yeah. That would be so cool.
Great.
Ari,
Mhm.
perhaps you do have something going on in there.
I mean, I know someone who can do a little bit of everything. So, and making connections is kind of my thing. So, it's great.
Well, I'm standing right here, of course. Everybody knows me.
You're very worth knowing, Murgug.
Oh, I assumed I was the person who knew a little bit of everything. My bad.
No, I meant like people who know one thing real good. I know a lot of those.
Yeah, it seems to be an epidemic where people think they can get away with just doing one thing. If you just do one thing, you have to be great. You have to be truly, truly great at it.
Like you with the guitar?
I'm not even a true great. You don't understand. God's like, my teacher, Kithario Richards. He's Dragonborn. He's got true greatness. True greatness. You'll know it if you ever do see it, but you probably wouldn't have heard of him because he's more known in like upper level guitar circles.
Shred, I've heard of him because you told us about him like 12 times today.
Like, seriously, breakfast was so long.
It's
and
Richard all the time.
the stupid things you all talk about aren't boring.
I didn't say it was boring. I'd love to
my
hear
former career. So I
Not-
used
Not like any of it matters anyway.
Miss Millie. Margog, it's just a good thing you're so much better than you think you are. That's all I have to say.
Bone sword.
Yes, bone sword.
I admit that one's kind of cool.
All right.
It is somewhat.
Down on the list of one name that we have that we all sort of like in my notebook here.
Then we're getting somewhere.
I mean,
Progress.
we've been doing this for like 3 weeks now.
Are we? I assume we're traveling while we're talking.
yeah. So, yeah, I didn't want to interrupt that beautiful conversation, but yeah, so Max settles up with Ari and anyone else who wanted to buy anything. Angelico, you get the wool coat for free, and you head up the trail that leaves the outskirts of Lunashine into the mountains. It's a little difficult to follow if you've never been on it before. It twists and winds between the trees, and there's some rocks and grass occasionally that makes you wonder how easy it really is for a cart from your destination to make it down here. And it seems like there's also some new growth that clearly no one's been down this path for at least a week, and the flora is starting to branch out a little bit more. As y'all continue to make your way up, if you can all roll a survival check for me.
15.
14.
6.
Brian, what'd you get?
11.
11? Okay.
Hey, Brian, you might want to amp up your microphone output a little bit if you can in your audio settings.
Heard.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, Bree. Or if you just wanna holler every time you have anything to say, the mic might be easier.
Hi, Margot.
So, y'all kind of notice a lot of like animal tracks going across the trail, rabbit, deer, maybe a wolf every once in a while. Shred, you also notice that gray clouds are rolling over the peak of the mountain that you're starting to trek up. And you realize that this may be a pretty serious snowstorm, but luckily you're not completely unprepared. You have noticed these clouds.
I don't know if you all see what I see, but it looks like it might be about to get shitty out.
Isn't that just about right? Fucking every time we try to go somewhere, some shit's gotta happen.
Well, yeah, it's honestly, this is the most I've ever agreed with you.
I mean, should we set up a camp somewhere and weather it out, or just keep going?
We have the wool jackets. Perhaps we
Right.
could make it.
Well, I doubt if this stupid wool jacket's going to be much against a serious snowstorm if we get one. I think
Do
we
not
should
call it
just-
stupid.
Well,
I like my wool jacket.
it's just not very cool, you know.
You're not very cool.
You would say that. You're just jealous because your career's over and mine's just about starting.
This
Now,
is not
hold
good.
on. Shred, that wasn't very fair to Angelico.
Fair. Life's so fair.
Well, then it's our job to make it fair.
Exactly.
Who's paying? Who's paying for that?
Well, typically you're the one paying for things.
This is true.
Which is why we should probably listen to me when I say we should shelter up for the night.
I'm okay listening to that.
And as y'all like kind of reach this conclusion in your conversation, the wind does feel like it's getting a lot colder. There's some precipitation in the air that is solidifying and not fun when it hits your skin. Snow starts to pick up, and it just feels like it's getting dangerously cold. Go ahead and make a group survival check, which in this world just means everyone make a survival check, and if the mean is above the DC, then
Fuckity fuck.
Well, that's 3.
okay.
Got a 10.
2. 6.
Well,
Okay.
wait. Wait. Expertise or jack of all trades? Can't I?
It's +1, I think, at this level.
It's a +1, yeah. You get a +1 to it if you don't have proficiency.
I got a 13.
Okay. So unfortunately, y'all wander for a while, almost an hour in.
I'm trying not to make it visible that I'm cold, but it's getting really difficult. I'm like trying to act all cool and like not be like I'm cold. It's not working.
Do you want to try to deceive your party with your?
I'm gonna try to like light a cigarette in the wind. Be like,
This is very on brand.
Oh man, take inspiration for that shred. That is, yeah, that shred.
and I will, yes, attempt to deceive my party. I'd like to attempt to deceive my party and not let them think that I'm cold as fuck.
All right, so if everyone wants to roll an insight check against whatever shred is deceiving y'all with.
Oh no. Okay, I got a 10.
I got a nat 20.
Ari is on to you.
I'm chattering a little bit while I'm smoking. Like you can, I thought that smoking would make me look more aloof, but instead, like it's making my fingers shake visibly, and I'm just like,
Yeah, I got a natural 1. So Angelica is just like, she looks so cool right now. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Hey Shred, did you need like a jacket, or I think I have a blanket stuffed somewhere in here?
No, I'm all right. I have a thing. If I need it, I'm fine. I haven't gotten it out because I'm not cold yet.
No, I think you are, and I think you should.
Okay, so Shred opens her pack and she's got like an ornate and beautifully trimmed like noble's cloak that was like her noble's cloak from home. It's like velvet and satin, and it's got like crimson and bright green and some like gold to it of like house colors, and she just puts it on. She just looks embarrassed as fuck. She's so embarrassed. But
Sure,
she's
that's so beautiful. Why
Okay.
haven't you been wearing that?
You can have it. It's the worst thing I own.
I mean, I'll trade you my wool coat for it, but I don't think you like that either.
It's just stop talking to me.
Oh man, you look so pretentious right now.
Margot, can't you see she's sensitive?
I'm not sensitive.
No,
Where
I
would you
said
get the
pretentious.
idea that I'm sensitive?
Well,
That's Angelico. He's the sensitive baby.
I think you
Speak for
project.
yourself, poser.
Poser. That's the words of a sensitive baby.
Angelico is not sensitive. He's just damned.
Oh shit. Well,
Okay, so
aren't we all? At least hopefully. Evan sounds terribly boring.
That is a good song. I forgive.
as y'all continue to kind of bicker as you struggle through the escalating winds and the
Escalating winds. That's not a bad band name. Ari, I bet you could get your hands around that one.
I love that one.
Putting it in the notebook. Sorry, go ahead.
love it. If y'all can all make a Constitution saving throw to see how well you're handling this weather.
Go. Better.
Damn, I'm rolling like trash. I got a 9.
14.
5.
19 for me.
Okay. Angelico and Murga, you are doing fine. And okay, I forgot to say this earlier, and this really sounds cheap, but if you are wearing like a coat or something, you were supposed to get advantage on that roll. So Shred and Ari, and I guess Angelico, if you want to shoot for a crit or something, y'all can roll again and tell me what the higher of those two is.
Yay, I put my cloak on in time. I was trying to hold out.
Yeah, that didn't help me much. I got a 9.
Okay.
This time I got a 12.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I guess more. No, I'll keep the one I had.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Angelico, you were good on your first one. We don't need to look at that crit fail on your second try. So, yeah. So the whole party, you're kind of trudging against this wind as you try to kind of make it further up the mountain. You know you're far enough in that turning around really isn't the smartest option right now. Ari, you are really struggling. You are cold, and even with this jacket, it's just like your face is getting hit with this snow, and you're just having trouble lifting up your feet, and you actually are taking a level of exhaustion. But you'll continue to look for some sort of shelter as this time continues to pass, And I'll have you roll another survival check, all of you.
That's an 18.
I got a 19.
18.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
I finally found the dice that works.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry, 14. I was still figuring out what exhaustion did. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all are in this storm. It is whistling so loud you're having trouble hearing each other over it, and you're getting frustrated. Ari is really slowing down a little bit. She's still keeping pace, but she's kind of fallen to the back of the pack. But about 45 minutes into this second hour that y'all spend in this storm, notice a cave, it's this cavern on the side of the mountain, and this storm just feels like it's still picking up, but y'all make it into this cave, and you can step further in as the wind whistling kind of quiets down, and you can hear yourself thinking for a second again.
Anybody see any wood? Start a fire.
I'll
Ari,
look around for wood.
sit
That's it.
down. Ari, sit down.
Okay, I can do that.
Does anybody have an extra coat? Ari, remember you said you had a blanket?
Yeah, I think I do.
Get it out. Get it out.
Okay.
I have a backup shirt. It would be like almost the size of your body.
Whatever. I'm gonna look for some wood.
I'll help that process.
Angelico has a blanket in his pack. He'll go ahead and give that to Ari as well.
She's just gonna wrap herself up in a little corner and sit down.
And yeah, I'll also cast the dancing lights cantrip just around us in the cave.
Should I roll something to look for wood?
Yeah, so anyone who wants to look for wood, they can roll a perception investigation style check. What do your dancing lights look like, Angelico?
Oh, they're basically like these blue, like, just the blue part of a flame. They appear out of one orb, just encircle. I guess I'll say Ari for now, just where she's stationed in the cave. Yeah, and they just sort of float and meander about almost independently.
Cool. All right. Shred and anyone else who was looking for wood, what did y'all roll?
And
19 investigation.
nice.
Okay. Murga, you find a lot of rocks. You find the occasional root kind of through the side of the cave that seems to just be like stabilizing the wall, but nothing that you really get the impression would burn well. Shred, you make your way a little bit deeper into this cavern, and you actually find a couple root systems that are just hanging almost like stalactites, the top ones, in the cave that look to be less healthy, I guess. Like they haven't gotten water in a while and would probably burn okay if you had something you could break them off with.
Alright, well, I'll have to borrow Ari's hammer. for that. I don't have anything like that, but I'll go ask her for it and come back. Ari, I think I found some wood to burn for a fire, but I need to borrow your hammer.
You guys should check out these rocks. They're awesome. Never seen
Okay.
rocks like this.
I can't burn a rock.
Did you want a hammer or a crowbar?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to do this.
Why don't you take Murgug with you?
I'll just take both things and take him with me. Murgug, take these.
What am I gonna use a hammer for?
To break the roots off.
Well, I got my longsword. Seems like that would be better.
I mean, if you want to do that to your sword, I'm not gonna. No, I'm going to stop you. I am.
Okay.
That's just not okay. All right, so we're gonna go back to the roots
Yeah.
and I don't know, try. I'll maybe
Yeah.
try to
Of-
with the crowbar.
Yeah, the cave's about 9 feet tall in this area. The roots come down to about 5 feet off the ground. So they're like 4 feet long, kind of hanging down. And it sounds like Murgug's gonna try to get some of those as firewood. What is first of all, how tall are you, and what is your method for doing this, Murgug?
I'm about 6'8", and my method for doing this is okay. Well, initially it was going to be just use my longsword and like hack some off and like swings at a time. But like how big are the roots that we're talking about?
Excellent question. So there are some that seem pretty thin, less than an inch thick. There are others that are a little thicker, that might be closer to 3 or 4 inches thick, that kind of split off into smaller amounts. You definitely have a couple choices here. You feel like each route you could get would serve for half an hour to an hour burning time, depending on how thick it was. And there are at least 10 roots hanging down here.
Okay. So my plan, I think, would be to take a dagger and like quickly go around and cut off all the thinner ones, like the easier ones to deal with. And then I think for these thicker ones, what we probably should do is like if I hold down on it and you take a dagger and maybe the hammer and like hammer into the root, then maybe I can like move the dagger around and just kind of pull it free.
Shred turns around. She's about 10 paces away. She's smoking a cigarette. She turns around. She's like, "What? Did you say something to me? I thought you were going to take the roots down."
Well, I forgot. My bad. Take all these small ones and send Angelico.
Right. Okay. So I'm just gonna take this bundle of smaller dry sticks and head back to the main cave area where Angelico and Ari are, and be like, "Hi, Feathers. Murgug needs your help. More wood."
I shall assist him at once.
I knew you would. You're that guy.
Shred,
Yeah, so
yeah, go ahead, Angelica.
oh no, I just said he'll head in there.
Okay, great. So Shred's got like 4 like 1 to 2 foot kind of like sticks. Definitely something you feel like you could start a fire with and
Yeah,
keep
I'm gonna go over by Ari and I'm gonna use my produce flame that I usually use to light my cigarettes. But I'm just gonna make a little pile. I'll break off some of the smaller pieces for kindling, and make a little pile of kindling. And I'll even pull a little piece of parchment out of my like little small bound notebook, ball it up in a little ball, and use produce flame to get it going. Just a tiny one, but kind of as close to Ari as possible.
Definitely. Can you roll a survival check with advantage just to see how quickly that catches?
That'll be an 18.
Yeah, so you've clearly done this before. You know how to use fire, and you set it up, and it's not roaring. Obviously, you don't have quite enough like tinder and kindling for that yet, but it's lit and it's going to stay lit. And you start to feel like your toes again, and breathe a little easier. You're still tired.
Well, if they don't dally and take forever, then we'll have a fire for a while.
So speaking of, we jump back over to Angelico, who has showed up to help Murgug. So Murgug, what's your plan now?
All right. So I just tried to explain this to Shred a second ago, but I totally forgot that he is above helping us or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how it works out with humans and elves, but anyway, my plan is to pull down on one of these like big fucking roots, and you just like try to like hit a dagger into it or stick a dagger into it and like start cutting away at it. Because I don't think it's going to work as well if it's just like dangling there.
I see. Yes, pull down these big fucking roots and I shall pierce them with my daggers. And he's just, as soon as Murgug does it, he's going to throw a dagger. He pulls out his throwing daggers, which are all fashioned to look like long stem red roses. And he's going to fling one at it.
Oh my God. I love that.
Angelico is a true character.
He's beautiful. Please do not think that Shred and I think the same. Okay.
Yeah. It goes both ways. Shred's amazing.
So Angelico, if you can roll to hit this this root.
15.
Okay. Murgug, if you want to just roll a strength check to see like how taut you're holding, basically.
11.
Okay. Yeah, so this one you kind of grip, and Angelico throws his dramatic weapon at, and it splinters, and you can kind of use your strength to just break off the rest of it, and seems pretty straightforward to you. There are about half a dozen more roots like this that I will have y'all roll just one more. Yeah, I don't want to make y'all roll this like 6 more times.
That one.
Nat 1. Okay. So
20.
Like, nailed it. Oh, nat 20?
Yeah.
Seems legit.
Oh.
Okay, so Murgug like goes to like grip the next one and almost just like rips it out of the dirt before you can even throw your dagger. Angelica, do you want to roll to hit one more time to just see how well the rest of your throws go?
15 again.
Okay, so you've got pretty good aim. Murgug is just yanking these out of the ground, and you are severing them so well. You'll make quick work of this, and all of the roots that you want are yours, basically. None of your daggers are harmed in the making of this fire pile, and you all are able to return with your bounty of roots. So
We bring you big fucking roots.
Okay. Thanks. I'm gonna start slowly feeding the fire. Be like, root fire root, fire, cave, root cave, fire, cave root fire. I don't know. Anyway,
Caves
I'm
ablaze.
band name brings. What?
Caves ablaze.
That sounds like a stoner group. Not a bunch of podheads.
I pull out my pipe and take a big old rip of.
Let's do, yay!
Do you guys ever know how when you're like so cold it just makes you tired, like you're a bear that needs to hibernate in the winter? Because that's where I'm at.
That sounds about right.
I've never felt that way before, but you can go to sleep.
I think I'm gonna.
and
You look
as
terrible.
No, I don't. I look fucking great. Thank you.
You look like shit. You've never seen yourself look this bad.
Shred, you're so mean.
The world's a mean place, honey.
And again, I stand by. It's our job to make it less mean when we can.
I got you a cave root fire, didn't I? Cave root fire.
I mean, I think mostly Murgug and Angelico did that, but you started it, so thanks.
I claim full credit.
You get a quarter of it.
That's why you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
And as Ari begins to calm down and the fire really starts to warm up, y'all hear the sound of some rocks being kicked close to the entrance. I was going to check y'all's passive perception, and then I rolled a crit fail at stealth, so I don't think it's necessary.
Oh shit! Oops, somebody kicked a rock by mistake.
Yeah.
That's killed because my passive perception is 10.
Yeah. So, today it does not matter, not to peek too far behind that curtain, but yeah. So you all hear that, you look up and you see a couple of something I'm not sure if you've ever seen before. A couple of humanoid buggish creatures. They have hard exoskeletons. They look a little like praying mantises, but they're as tall as you guys are. Maybe not as tall as Murgug. And yeah, there are 3 of them just starting to wander into the cave. They all kind of see you at the same time as you see them, and kind of stop where they're standing.
I'm gonna pick up my guitar. Just pick up my guitar really quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are lost, but if this is your cave, you should really think about some kind of signage or maybe some curtains. I don't know, something.
They start to like walk a little bit closer. All of you roll an insight check real quick.
Oh my God, Allison, I'm having such a good time. Thank you. I love playing D&D.
14.
21.
A very good
shit.
roll, though. I got an 8.
I got a 2.
I got a rock.
Wait, but isn't Ari
That was
sleeping? I'm sorry, I hate to like obliterate our 21, but aren't you sleeping?
So I believe Arya is exhausted. She hasn't like quite fallen asleep yet, and definitely like looked up when she heard the rock kicked.
I spent too long arguing with Shred to fall asleep yet.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
So the and they look like they just want to get out of the storm, but they also feel threatened by y'all. The rest of the group, you see these large, threatening creatures. They look pretty tense, and what you identify as aggressive, and Ari sees through that to fearful. They are mostly like they don't have backpacks on or anything, obviously, but one of them has a like a bag in its claw, basically, that is probably, wow, here we go. It's like the size of a backpack, but it's carrying it in its hand. But yeah, so everyone except for Sleepy Ari, you definitely feel threatened by this presence. They're about 50 feet away right now, and they look like they are also sizing up the situation. How are y'all feeling about that?
I think I would step to the front in this situation, and I'm gonna try to make the intimidation play. I just walk up to them and be like, your silence is disconcerting, and if you'd like to stay by the fire, I recommend you go find some wood to add, or maybe get the fuck out of our cave.
Okay, roll intimidation.
Can I aid him at all? Can I like stand? I kind of, my instinct is that I want to stand up with my guitar. And my guitar, by the way, is enhanced in such a way as that like it's an electric guitar and it sounds like an electric guitar, even though I'm not plugged into anything because I've spent 100 gold to have it enhanced in this way. But and so I just want to like stand up and be kind of just like playing a little bit like and like a little bit like just imply that he's really scary musically.
Okay. Yeah. So Murgug, if you want to roll with advantage.
It's the eye of the tiger. No.
That is going to be an 18.
Okay. So one looks super freaked out and like tries to like grab the other two. The other two just kind of like stare you down. And they chitter in like a bug sounding language that you don't recognize. It's almost like a trill and a chitter combined, and they're like at each other.
I know we speak a lot of languages. Does anybody know that one?
No,
I do not speak their cliques, I'm afraid.
I speak 4 languages and none of them are that.
I mean, I do speak body language, and I don't think they mean us any harm.
Oh, what makes you think that?
Well, they look about as cold as I do.
How can you possibly tell? Those faces are barely faces.
Okay, well, that's rude. You don't know that. That's a face for that.
All right. I'll go over by like where the wood is that we have collected and like pick up a piece and just kind of be like, look, wood, you, fire, get.
And I think Ari at this point is going to cast Calm Emotions. Kind of mostly toward them. You said that they're 60 feet away or 50 feet away from us. And Calm Emotions has a 60-foot range. So I'm going to cast it near them. So each, you said they're humanoid, right? Like they're Bud Light, but they're humanoid. Okay. So each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point has to make a charisma saving throw. And if it fails, there's stuff.
Okay. Does a 13 save?
No.
Then none of them saved.
Okay. So then their emotions have been calmed. I can suppress any effect causing them to be charmed or frightened. And they will become indifferent toward any of our party. Unless they're attacked or, if the spell ends, the creature becomes hostile again, unless you rule otherwise. So if we can convince these things in a short amount of time that we don't mean harm, I'm hoping that it'll be okay.
So let's see. So that's a verbal and somatic spell. What does it look like or sound like when you cast this?
So I think Ari is just we just gotta all bring it all down a little and pushes down with her hands. And then you kind of see it there's this hazy shimmer over where they all are that starts up top, goes down below with almost a bluish sort of tint to it.
And as that happens, you see them all with their claws, I guess, up, kind of relax, lower their shoulders, tilt their heads, and they kind of look at each other and then at you, and the one with that's kind of leading the party starts a conversation with them again, but it seems less panicked. The one holding the bag opens the bag and pulls out what looks like a large game bird, and kind of just holds it out to you guys.
Ooh. Oh. Is it? Ooh. Does it look alright? That's disgusting.
Oh, it looks delicious.
It's clearly a peace offering. See, they're responding to Murgug's nice offering of the wood. It's all okay. They want to, I think they're trying to offer up food that they'll share with us if we share our fire and shelter.
Right.
I feel like we should probably get more wood, though.
Not.
Yeah.
I am not going to lie. I don't feel particularly comfortable with them, but I will defer to the will of the band on this one. and just tend the fire for everyone for a while longer, since I only need a 4-hour trance for my rest.
Yes, come, new friends, sit with us. Sharing our stories of pain, trouble.
Roll a persuasion check, Angelica.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Nice.
dang!
They seem to understand definitely that you are welcoming them to your fire. They come and they kind of like hunch in a way that you haven't really seen many humanoids that you have been around sit down, but it seems clear that they're starting to relax, and they reveal 3 like large game birds, like fat pheasants, basically, and like kind of offer them to the fire, and to you all. They don't seem to understand what you were saying all that well, but they do definitely understand the meaning that you are conveying, and they sit down near you. They still look a little worried that, like, especially Shred, who's been more loud about concern.
I'm terrifying.
They'll seem intimidated by Shred for sure, so don't worry about that. You've got your whole thing going on still.
My mystique out. But I'm thinking about the band name Crustacean.
Lonely crustacean.
That's
Lonely.
stupid.
It is not stupid. It speaks of pain.
You never think anything's stupid if it's stupid. As long as
I
it's
think you being a
stupid,
mean
love it.
walking cigarette all the time is stupid.
At least I don't whine all day.
I don't walk. And
Wait,
cry.
wait, you're not whining? I totally thought you were whining.
No, I'm smoking, Mogug, smoking.
Well, Angelica will share some of his rations, like as they're presenting food, he'll kind of like match them, just kind of show, like, same.
Yeah, and Ari's calm emotion spell does wear off as they settle themselves at the fire, and they look up a little more alertly. But then they still keep themselves seated. They look around and seem to still be settled here. They definitely start to, just as you saw Ari react to the fire, they also relax around it and seem to just be grateful for the presence of it. And they start to cook one of the birds. They use their like weird pinchers to pluck the feathers and prepare it. They like almost like pare it into meat as it gets cooked, using their strange claws, and offer some to all of you as you settle down.
Shred's gonna continue to be kind of an ignorant racist dick and act like everything that they're doing is disgusting. And but it smells really, really good, and I'm super hungry and I definitely want some. And so I'm really at war within myself about how like nothing seems like a threat anymore, and I'm super embarrassed because I was being an asshole. And so that means I have to be more of an asshole, which means I can't eat this delicious smelling bird. And I'm super fucking pissed about the whole thing in the corner. That's my scene right now.
Does Ari notice Shred like sulking?
I'm sulking pretty like ostentatiously, I will say. Ew. Oh, disgusting. That doesn't even smell good.
Allison,
Do you notice?
Does Ari notice the sulking, or do I have to roll for that, or do I just notice it?
Yeah. So, Shred, are you trying to deceive again?
Well, sort of. I kind of want people to notice that I'm sulking a little bit, but like
What's
I don't
your
know. I'm not
passive
trying to
deception?
I'm not trying to hide anything. Passive deception would be 13.
Okay. So, Ari, if you have a passive insight of higher or would like to roll for that, yeah.
My passive insight is a.
That was a really, really good way to do that, Allison.
Thanks. I have never called for that before, but
That was so cool.
Yeah, no, my passive insight is 17.
Oh,
Okay,
Jesus.
so Ari kind of knows what's up. Yeah, and
yeah, you can tell I'm like, you can see like the drool coming out, I'm like sucking it back in the side of my mouth while I smoke.
Before you know what's going on. Shred's putting up a front, but you see through it.
So I think Ari would like grab more food than she intends to eat and just kind of set it next to her on like, I don't know, we usually have rations, so like some kind of box or plate that I can kind of set it down on.
Mm-hmm.
And just make a big show of, oh man, I'm so full and that was really good, but I feel terrible wasting any more of this, and like push it a little bit next to Shred.
I'll try it. I'll just like pick off a little piece and like put it in my mouth. I bet it's delicious, right? Is it amazing?
Oh yeah, it's very satisfying after the day you've had, and this is like fresh food. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so juicy. Okay, I'm gonna eat that little bite and then just be like, fuck, and just grab that plate and inhale the rest of what Ari left for me. I'm just like, oh. That was all right, I guess.
And the bug creature is kind of like, no, they're happy to see that like the most standoffish member that's sharing the fire with them seems to be appreciating what they've contributed. I'm
gonna throughout the rest of the evening, I'm gonna just like secretly try to sneak little more bits off of like ones that are cooking and like see if I can, because I don't want to act like I want more, but I literally want to eat the rest, like the rest of what's available.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna try to nab some here and there throughout the rest of the night.
Love it. And I think that the as it continues to get dark and cold, these guys do eventually just kind of almost curl up near the fire. They seem like they trust you, and they it's interesting, they kind of, as they start to relax, turn their exoskeleton into the color of the cave, so they're a lot harder to see. It seems like a defense mechanism that they might have.
Camouflage crustacean.
This is pretty.
Sorry.
Mhm. I love this. You'll better find a band name, or at least. And they kind of settle in. They seem like they disguise themselves and they relax. The wind continues to howl outside, but it's been a couple hours. You've got food in you, and you imagine that if you spend the night in this cave, you'll feel right as rain in the morning.
I'm gonna play Silent Lucidity by Queensryche. That's all.
Yeah. Um, yeah, basically like a song of rest kind of thing. I know y'all.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play like the most like the like sweetest metal song that I know.
Mm-hmm. And you guys relax. Do you want to take a full long rest or at least wait out this cave? Ari says yes, she does.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Ari fell asleep as soon as she made sure Shred ate. Like, which is like, all right, bedtime.
Shred feels absolutely no guilt about the fact that Ari did extra emotional labor so that Shred didn't have to like act like she gave a shit about anything. She does not feel bad. She does not care.
Ari did give Angelico's blanket back to him though. Like, feels warm enough, hands it back. It's like, well, thanks for the extra bit of warmth. I really appreciated it.
Oh, anytime. Do not mention it.
And then just curls up and goes to bed for the next 8 hours.
Definitely. So I think now would be a great little break time stopping point. We can come back in 15 minutes from now. And if you have anything you want to do during the break, let me know when we get back. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be back at 6. Oh, don't make me do math. 35, and I'll throw up a timer on the screen. All right. Welcome back. Our nameless so far band of bards who have thrown plenty of name spaghetti at the wall, but none has quite stuck yet, are ready to wake up. Just to recap, we have seen this party of 4 bards receive a mission from the merchant and the outpost they rested in last night. The local potion and food supply hasn't shown up for over a week, and they have decided to investigate. So they decided to follow the map that was given to them in the trail up the mountain, but unfortunately a blizzard befell them. They found a cave after a couple of hours of struggling and freezing in the snow, and found some firewood for warmth. Just as they were starting to settle down, some bug-like creatures appeared in the cave entrance, but Ari calmed them down with a spell. They didn't seem like they wanted to fight, especially such a competent-looking band of adventurers, and eventually rested at the fireside along with the rest of this party. They have all now relaxed and begun a long rest, and this is where we find them now. Is there anything specific that y'all would like to do on your long rest?
Shred will change her guitar strings during this and sharpen her knives. Several blades. She actually continues taking out knives and sharpening them for a while. If anyone's like awake during this part, she'll like take out a knife, wipe it down, sharpen it, put it back, take out another knife from somewhere else, wipe it down, sharpen it, put it back, take out another knife. She does this for a solid like 50 minutes where it's like just taking out, wiping down, sharpening, and then like doing little flippy tricks with the knife because she's a narcissistic, egotistical guitar player who does flippy tricks with the knife.
How tricky are these flips? Do I need to make you do a dexterity check for them, or are they?
I mean, they're pretty tricky. I might lobby for a sleight of hand check, to which I have a +8. I'd be into that. We could see how I do.
Okay. I hear that. All right. Why don't you roll a sleight of hand check and see how your knife flippy tricks are going?
Watch me not one my eye out after that. Oh, no, I got a 21.
Okay.
22. My bad, 22. I can't add +8.
Even numbers. What are they even about?
Right?
So you, anyone watching is probably impressed, not intimidated by your knife tricks, along with the accumulation of knives that seem to be happening as you continue to sharpen them.
I look around to make sure someone notices, and I'm disappointed that everyone is asleep.
So is that as everyone's calming down or after you wake up? Which?
I probably stay up for a while. I'm also a 4-hour trance person, so I don't really sleep per se, but I get kind of wired at the end of the day, and I really don't trust these bug people because I'm xenophobic, and so I just am going to stay up for a while and change my guitar strings. But by the time I sharpen my knives all up and change all my guitar strings and stuff like that, I'm sure it's been a few hours, and I'm playing scales and doing stuff and whatever, and I just probably, I'd probably stay up for half the night and then trance out for the other half.
Definitely. So it sounds like you kind of play something, calm everyone down as they're sitting around the fire, and then once you're content with that, start sharpening knives and changing your strings. Is anyone else staying up or planning on waking up early, or y'all just relax?
I would take a watch for sure after Shred goes to sleep or starts to trance, I guess.
Mhm.
I'd probably spend my time trying to dry out and do any maintenance I need to do on my steel drum / shield, and just kind of like attend to like all of my gear and mostly be just watching the bug people.
Okay. While you are doing that, roll a perception check with advantage. See what those bugs are up to.
That is a 10.
A 10. Okay. So you're focusing on like holding up your drum to the fire, kind of drying it out without getting it caught on fire, kind of thing. And after a bit of doing that, you kind of rest for a second, and you notice that all of the bug people seem to be gone. You know that they had their kind of camouflage going on, but it seems like now they just aren't even around anymore.
How long have I been awake? Or like how long have I been like kind of doing my thing?
So if Shred woke you up after she stayed up for a while, you've slept for probably 3 or 4 hours, and now you've been up for about an hour. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's fucking unsettling. Shit. And I'll go wake up Ari.
How do you wake her up?
Ari, are you feeling better?
No, I'm sleeping.
Are you warm enough though? Should we stoke the fire?
Yeah, I think I'm toasty.
Okay. By the way, the bug people are gone. I don't know where they are.
Oh, well, maybe they had enough of the fire.
Oh, okay. Good night.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go back to sitting by the fire, but now I'll be like playing on my little steel drum shield. So in my mind, there's like strapping on the back of the shield that has like a leather stripping that comes around that I can hold onto, so it's a shield, and then just remove the leather strap and flip it over, and then it's the drum. That's how it works in my brain.
Yeah, that's very cool. Almost like a Captain America shield kind of thing that you just pop.
Basically.
Yeah, and the acoustics in this cave are pretty nice. It's not jarring anyone awake, but it's a nice sound that everyone kind of rolls over in their sleep, and you definitely, I think, are satisfied by the sounds that you're putting into the world right now. Yeah. Are you staying up the rest of the night, or are you going to?
I mean, I'll keep an eye out for the rest, probably another hour and a half, and then I'll go wake up Angelico. Hey man, it's I don't know. I'm tired. I'm just tired. It's probably time for somebody else to take watch. But like the bug people are gone, and that's kind of unsettling. I'm not really sure when it happened. Even I was cleaning my drum, and then they were like they weren't there anymore. So
They
I
seem
don't
to
know.
be left with no clicks.
I
Disappeared.
I haven't heard anything for like 2 or 3 hours now.
I shall keep watch, my friend. You get rest. Yeah, Angelica will go ahead and he's just polishing up his daggers and he'll keep watch. Now, I knew they were camouflaging.
Mhm.
Does it seem like they just camouflaged way hard? Like, I'm not stepping where they were, just in case.
Okay, yeah, if you want to roll either perception or survival to try to figure out where they are, what's going on, go for it.
10.
Okay. I mean, the fire is not casting a shadow on like bodies or anything, but you can't really. You're pretty sure they're not there anymore. As far as you know, they just were warm enough and decided to duck out, kind of thing.
Okay. So yeah, he'll cast the dancing lights and just keep it kind of near the entrance of the cave and just finish out watch.
Definitely. And that passes fairly uneventfully. And as you kind of feel like you're waking up, you realize it's because the sun has come out, the wind has died down, and while there is still snow on the ground, it does not seem to be snowing any longer. You go out to the edge of the cave as other people start to yawn and wake up, and you can see in the snow that there are tracks away that look like these little insect stabbing points that they just decided to leave earlier, that they felt like they were warm and full and didn't want to stick around too long. And as you all kind of start to stir, as the fire starts to run out of the tinder that you had gathered, you all, like as you're waking up subconsciously, all notice that the wind has died down and it must be safe to travel again.
That sounds much better.
Yeah, it does.
Bitter frost is
Everything feels calmer.
What did you say, Mergug?
I said everything feels calmer.
Indeed.
I doubt it stinks though. We have weird luck.
I think I'll go find a place to relieve myself next to a tree. Something. Smoke a cigarette. On the way by, I'm gonna check if there's any of that chicken left. Or pheasant, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So there's like about half of one left. It's sitting by the fire. It's lukewarm at best, but it is cooked.
That's fine. I'm gonna rip off a chunk of it and just stick that in my mouth and kind of alternate with the cigarette and the like, dried out kind of bird meat. This is the breakfast of champions, in my opinion. I'm gonna go outside and like looking at like the tracks and stuff, but also I just want to see if I can notice if anything else fucked up happened in the night, like if any other animals or if the storm was normal or like, I don't know. I feel a little
on edge.
Totally.
So ostensibly while I'm, going to the bathroom, but I'll probably go to the bathroom too.
Definitely. If you want to roll either survival or perception, just to check out what tracks you see and general vibe of the lay of the land.
That'll be just an 11 perception.
Okay. So as you head outside to make some yellow snow, I guess you also see the insect tracks heading away. You note that they're not either toward the place that you came from or toward the place you imagine you're going, just kind of out into the wilderness.
That's good.
But you don't see any other tracks around. You see drifts of snow, but the snow really only seems to be a couple inches thick. It seems like it was more windy than snowy, honestly, and it is already starting to melt in the sun.
Great.
Ari, by the way, you are no longer exhausted, obviously. You've gotten full night of rest, so.
Yeah.
Angelica would probably check on Ari. Do you feel better?
Yeah, no, I feel a lot better. Thanks for letting me rest, guys. I really needed that.
You want some of this bird?
Yeah, I'll take some.
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, start the morning off right and all that.
If there's any left, we should wrap it and bring it just in case we want it later, or like in 5 minutes, or like, I don't know, there probably won't be any left.
Oh, carcasses in a cave.
That feels like a show tune somehow. I don't relate to the in the
I
middle.
mean, we could maybe make it that way.
Carcasses. You want to do show tunes?
Who likes
Sure.
show tunes?
Did you say the people like show tunes? And that is exactly why. That is exactly what's wrong with music. That's everything that's wrong with music. What the people like. There's no sophistication. There's no soul.
I think there's a lot of sophistication in finding out what people like and doing that. Kind of, what else is the point then to bring people joy?
Well, if you want to be a slave to the fan base, then I suppose you can just do that. And that's what we should name our band, probably, is just like prostrate to the fan base.
At least I'd have a fan base.
Well, that's because you appeal to the mainstream.
Yep. I think that was actually a decent band name, though. Prostrate the Crowd.
Well, we'll put it on the list then.
And as y'all continue your ongoing discussion of band names, I think you are packing up your bedrolls and blankets and such. You finish up your breakfast bird. If there's anything left over, you put it in a pouch. But
Oh, there's not.
yeah.
You don't know where she puts it. She's like 5 pounds and she just has like a hollow leg or something where she stuffs all of the food, but she just continues eating bird until there's no bird left.
There are feathers left and nothing else as y'all leave the embers of your fire and head out of this cave.
Angelica will take one of the feathers
Okay.
and also put out the fire, just to be sure.
Okay. The responsible member of the party. Sounds
Oh, you're so responsible.
I am not responsible. Seeing these dying embers reminds me of my own pain. They must be snuffed out.
Honestly,
not
that
come.
resonates.
Yeah, is that one of your songs, or?
My songs cannot,
Angelica. Your song's what?
cannot be sung. Though, allow me to sing you one I just wrote about this very subject. Look at this photograph. No, I cannot. I'm sorry, I cannot.
That
the
was,
curse of a true artist.
You get the idea, yes? One is looking at the photograph every time they do it. Makes them laugh, yes?
Murgug is crying, and he just comes over and pats you on the back. That was absolutely moving. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
that's the what? Oh, that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's so hurt. Thank you. It brings me great.
I see your pain, and I enjoy your music.
As do I yours, my friend.
As y'all continue this conversation, you've cleaned up your cave Boy Scout style and are heading out. You have your map from earlier, and the sun is visible in a way that you can tell where east is right now, as you're vaguely aware of what time it is. It's not high noon, so you've got a little bit of a solar compass going on. If everyone can roll a... I feel like I'm calling for way too many survival checks.
We're in the wilderness.
I know. You gotta survive, guys.
My God.
Either nature or survival I will allow, just to kind of understand your surroundings, looking at this map, even just a straight intelligence check, to make sure that you know where you are going from here.
I got a
Sick.
14 in nature.
14. Okay.
I got a 6. Oh, hey.
Oh.
Same roll.
Okay.
Me too.
So we've got 3 6s.
6.
No.
Oh no. This is it. This is so Shred, you look at the map, you look at the sun, you're like, all right, let's go. And the other 3 of y'all are all fairly confident that that's not quite the right direction. That's not where the path was leading yesterday. But all of y'all have different opinions about where it is.
You guys clearly have no idea what's happening. The path just goes right that way. It's pretty obvious. You can see it even a little bit.
No, we must follow the bugs. They are showing us the way.
I'm not following in. No, I'm not following the bugs.
Have any of you looked at the map at all? Has anyone seen the map that I have in my hand that we're all looking at? Because if any of you had looked once at the map, you would not be saying the stupid things you're saying now. It's obviously marked on the map that this direction. The mountain is right there, and on the map it's right there. And if you follow the directions on the map, it's directly that way along the side of the mountain. I can't understand how this is difficult.
Okay, Shred, I want to believe what you're saying, but you're so ding-dang rude about everything that comes out of your mouth that I think you're wrong.
Say ding-dang? That's a new low, even for you.
I don't think the situation called for any stronger language than that.
Well,
What is this ding thing?
I'd hate to be a part of something that did. Listen, I'm going to go this way, and I think that's how I'm going to get to the next town, which is where supposedly there's going to be some place to stay and maybe something to eat and perhaps a solution for the mystery that we're not even getting paid to solve. So anyway, if anyone wants to get there, I suggest you come with me.
Roll persuasion with advantage, Red.
I got a 7 and an 11, and I'm going to use my inspiration.
Totally.
At 7-Eleven, this is where she wishes to go. To buy tall boys in the morning. We are not purchasing tall boys.
I have a strange craving for a stuffed hot dog. Do I get to roll one more time?
We'll say 2. I don't know what the rule is, but I'm the DM, so.
I love it. The best I could get was a fucking 13. This is nuts. I think I have to, I don't have any other dice with me right now. I'm not at home.
Oh no.
Oh, this is
I have
my
a bunch.
reality. This is the one that I'm in. I'm not sure if do I wash them? Like, what do you do in this
In holy
situation?
water at this point. Yeah.
If it helps, Ari is absolutely choosing to fail any roll that would contest that. She's mad at Shred, but willing to go with it.
If all 4 of you want to roll a perception check really quick on top of this, as you are kind of disagreeing about directions, that would be great.
11. That's my best perception roll of the night.
Mine was 9.
Oh, what'd you get, Angelica?
4. Angelica does not believe her whatsoever.
We're
She is lying. She is wanting to buy the tall boys.
And this is, you guys, I have a +4 to persuasion, and the best I could do was a 13.
Okay. Yeah.
we might not navigate the wilderness, but you should watch us play some music.
So y'all kind of start to wander off. Shred and Ari kind of wander one way. After a minute, I think Angelico and Murgat kind of realize that that is the way that they're going, and they don't want to be too much of a thorn in the party's side or end up alone with the random things that they've seen tracks of in the woods. But y'all make your way for a couple hours just wandering around. And then after longer than Max told you it would take to get to this village, it's past lunch and y'all are hungry. One of y'all actually notices some smoke in the distance. It looks like it might be coming out of a chimney or something. We'll say it was all rolled so bad.
You have the highest passive perception.
Passive perception, that's great. Thank you. It's not Murgug. He says no.
12.
14.
Okay, so let's say Ari, as she's feeling a little bit more chipper and grateful that she's not as cold as yesterday, looking up to the sky, sees in the distance through the trees a couple streams of smoke in the distance, not straight in front of them, but slightly off to the side. But it seems like maybe Shred did kind of have a feel for the direction y'all needed to be going.
Shred, I'm sorry I called you rude, but I think you might have been right.
Oh, I'm rude.
Well, you are rude. But you were also right this time.
Of course I was right. I looked at the map.
Anyway, there's a smokestack over that way, so if you want to get off your high horse and walk that way, we can get going towards the town.
Okay. You know, I know I was one of the ones that said we shouldn't get horses because I'm sick of traveling all about in such a nobility style, but I must admit, I wish we'd gotten the horses that we talked about before.
I mean,
Speaking of high horses, I'm just saying it would have been nice. My feet hurt.
I mean, it sounds all good and all for everybody else, but I have to buy like 2 mules and a cart. Like I can't, like a horse can't support me comfortably.
yeah, I mean, we talked about it, and I have a little bit of an allergy, so like, I'd rather not deal with that.
Angelico had the right of it, though. I think we should have had the horses. He was,
White horses.
yes, indeed. Or whatever color keeps you off the ground. Nonetheless, it does appear that we've arrived, and perhaps somebody should buy me lunch for being right again.
Why would I buy you anything? You have more money than any of us.
Well, that doesn't mean I don't.
And you ate most of the chicken.
Yeah.
What?
You did
Murder?
eat the cave chicken.
You ate most of the cave chicken.
No one was eating that.
I think that means you buy us lunch.
I did everyone a favor by finishing that disgusting food so that it wasn't left out to attract predators.
Shred, we'd have eaten it later if we'd have just taken it with us.
Whatever. Fine, I'll buy my own lunch.
That's not what Murgug said.
What? I didn't hear him. He talks into his scarf. Sounds like he has fangs when he talks.
Thanks for buying us lunch. That's what I said. It's gonna be great. I'm excited.
What? You think I'm buying lunch? What are you gonna do for me? I didn't lose a bet. I'm the one that got us here.
You ate all the other viable food.
Well, no one was eating it.
We just went over this. We would have ate it if you just let us pack it up.
Let's just get there. Gods, you're all such children arguing like this. Do you see yourselves? Ugh, you sound like babies.
You are the baby.
Wailing babies.
Well,
You sure know how to project, Shred.
if we could get a singer that could project, perhaps our band could get somewhere.
Why would you say
I'm gonna head now.
after you eat the cave chicken, you drag us all this way?
Well,
It is only thanks to Ari that we have found this village. You shall buy us the cheese-filled dogs from the 7-Eleven. It is the least you can do.
well, you perform better when your emotions are riled up, Angelico. I was just helping the band.
All right.
And as y'all continue to talk amongst yourselves and you've kind of adjusted your path the way Ari has pointed the smoke to be, in the melting snow that you continue to trudge through, you see an axe ahead of you. And as you kind of notice that, you hear someone cough and look over, and you notice that there is someone trying to hide behind a tree nearby.
You, forest peeper. What do you seek?
After a second, a dwarven woman wearing a flannel comes out from behind the tree and says, "Are you here to hurt us?"
Only if you're the reason why the cart's not making it down south to the other town.
Oh. So, you're from the outpost then?
I guess. We wanted some supplies and they just didn't have any. And they said the supplies were supposed to come from here and something's been stopping them.
Well, pretty plain and simple, if I'm being honest. There's a small dragon in the middle of town, kind of holding us hostage. As she says that, two other dwarven lumberjack-looking fellas come out. We're out here cutting the wood to make sure that they continue to be able to make the baked goods and such, but unfortunately there's none to go around right now as this fella's claiming them all.
How are you out here? Can I roll an insight check? Do I believe them about this story, or are they just creating a problem and pretending it's a dragon?
Yeah, roll an insight check for sure. Anyone who wants to, and especially Shred.
God damn it. That's a 10.
19.
22.
Damn.
Oh,
Okay. So, y'all, let's see, we got a 10, a 12, a 22, and what was Brian's?
19.
19. Okay. So, Ari and Murgug, y'all are both fairly, convinced, like you don't know these people very well, but they like the woman speaking seems to be genuine. Shred and Angelico, y'all really are not certain but don't detect anything immediately triggering a concern as far as what they're saying. Like the woman speaking doesn't have a weapon, and she really just seems like she is trying to gauge y'all as much as you're trying to gauge her.
So, like, we don't necessarily believe her, but we don't necessarily disbelieve her. It's just like withholding judgment, not getting a read. Really?
Yeah, Shred and Angelico, you don't think that she's immediately like trying to play you, but you're also not convinced, I guess. Yeah.
So you say there's no supplies. Could we still play a gig though?
What
Like we
sort?
kind of came to town for two reasons, and it seems like one of them's kind of going to be shitty and involve a dragon. But can we at least play the music at the celebration or something, or after you guys
Right.
kill the dragon?
Be like,
Not sure what you think we have to be celebrating right now when the matriarch of this town is being held hostage, but
Oh no, we will celebrate you guys liberating your town. Here, you can have my longsword.
Mark, Doug, they clearly can't liberate their own town. Don't you think they would have if they could have?
Oh, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, people do what they can, you know?
That makes sense.
But, yeah.
you got a longsword. Do you think that you could be liberating our town for us?
Did you say, what color dragon is this?
It's like a shiny brownish.
I did that.
Does that mean something to you?
Well, I just, I want that jacket. I thought if we could, they said it wasn't that big of a dragon, right? We have some
powerful riffs. I think we could probably slay a dragon.
To slay a dragon.
Absolutely.
This would make for a good song.
Right?
Do we have to start right off the bat with fighting it? Can we just ask it nice to leave?
Don't you think if they would have, if they could have, they would have, or whatever you said?
Maybe they're not as good at asking as I am. Did you ask it to leave?
I mean, me personally, no. I've been out here just trying to provide enough wood to keep the ovens hot, to keep this dragon satiated so it doesn't eat the matriarch or her assistants at the bakery. But if you think you could do anything, fighting sounds great to me. Expel this beast from our town, please. It's been over a week now, and it's just there's no end in sight. But now you are here, and it seems like maybe something could be changed.
Hey, don't set your expectations up too high, honey.
Yeah, you're placing a lot of faith in strangers.
I mean, you said you wanted the shipments back for the outpost. This is the only way, so I don't know.
I mean, you're kind of ducking the question still, though. Like, can we play the show, or what's happening?
Oh, that's what kind of gig you meant. There is an inn in town, a bar, tavern situation, if that's what you're looking for, but I don't really see why that's the priority right now.
Well, maybe it wouldn't be the priority for you if your livelihood wasn't based off of music and your entire passion and soul and life wasn't based off of music like ours is. So I thank you not to just marginalize and expect us to not understand like what's important to us or what's really important. Music is truly important and it is a priority. And do you know what I mean? I might have lost track of where I was going with this, but you understand, right?
I'm not trying to marginalize the arts, it just seems like a big dragon in our main food place is a little bit more of a problem right now, but
Well, it'll be a blink of an eye. If Ari can't talk it out of leaving, then we'll all just take care of the problem, I'd guess.
if you could do that, that'd be great. I got to get back to chopping wood, but the town's just that way, and the bakery's the biggest building in town with the 3 chimneys. So
You've been very helpful. She makes it sound like intensely sarcastic, even though you've been very helpful.
yeah, she the like woodcutter dwarven woman is just like a little bit confused by the tone and like goes and picks up her axe and is just like, all right, well, thank you if you can help, I guess.
We'll do our best. I definitely think that we should. Boy, howdy, I'm struggling on the accent right now. Yeah,
Because
it really slipped. So I think that. Nope, still struggling.
it's hard with Feely, who's like such a compelling accent,
It's
Howdy.
it's definitely a good thing to be starting with the friendliness because you can't really go back from that. Like if we started being mean and hurting it, there's no stepping back. Like it's probably just going to be real aggressive towards us.
Perhaps his dragon is in pain, and that is why he causes pain. I say we let Ari speak with this dragon.
Sounds good to me.
I guess I hope you don't die,
But yeah, go for it.
I mean, I'm willing to fight it if we have to.
Indeed.
So y'all come to this decision and continue towards the village. As you enter the village, the largest building does stand out with the 3 chimneys as described by the woodcutter. 2 are churning out thick white smoke right now. The 3rd lays dormant. The door to the building is ajar, and a metallic orangey brown tail comes out into the street, and it's like flicking about kind of like a cat's tail. And it is attached to the backside of what must be the dragon that was described by the woodcutter. As you enter the town, a couple villagers who are standing around kind of talking do take notice of you, kind of interested, but no one makes any move to talk to you immediately.
It's kind of shocking how fucking calm these people are about a dragon inside their town.
Maybe that means it's just not hurting anyone.
Just seems like something that would be unsettling.
Yeah,
Huh.
you're not wrong.
They don't look pleased with the situation for sure. They mostly look like they're monitoring the situation, and if you come any closer to the bakery, one will kind of walk over to see who y'all are about, for sure.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Would you say that, like, could I get within 30 feet of the dragon in some way without, like, making someone else interact with us?
So the people are about on a perimeter. The tail is about 10 feet long and it's flicking around, and they're 30 feet back from that. So there's like a 40 feet away from the bakery. There is a group of people that would definitely take notice and engage with you. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does it seem like they would try to stop Ari from interacting with the dragon?
Roll an insight check if you are concerned about that. Yeah. Did you crit again?
I did.
Wow.
I got an 11.
Okay, so Nikki definitely has the hottest dice tonight.
I've cycled through 4 sets. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Gotta keep them fresh.
Yeah.
So, Shred, you are trying to scope them out or whatever, and one kind of makes eye contact with you and flicks back and forth between you and the rest of the party, kind of sizing y'all up. But it's hard to tell what he makes of y'all. He is a human, just dressed in commoner's clothes. Ari, you also see.
I give him a withering look.
Oh, okay. You're like staring him down, kind of.
I'm like, what are you looking at, peasant?
Mm-hmm. So this commoner, Ari, you see him like look concerned at you as if he doesn't like the situation, but also doesn't want it to escalate. And then you see him suddenly just go wide-eyed. You notice Shred doing an intimidating thing next to you, and you can tell that he is very concerned about the situation, but also like sees a little bit of compassion in your eyes, and was about to relax when Shred did
Oh, I'm in like full swagger.
yeah. And it's like, oh boy, this is about to get a lot worse, isn't it? You know?
Oh, you have no idea.
And he He starts to get body language like he wants y'all not to go closer. Yeah.
So I think first Ari gives a thumbs up and is like,
Why don't you let me create a diversion? I'll get him arguing with me. And you can just go talk to the dragon.
hang on, I want to see what everyone in the area sort of thinking internally first,
You're so boring.
including the dragon. I need to just know what's going on so I know where to start with this kind of, persuading.
You're always so thorough. There's no room for spontaneity.
Yeah, no, typically with a giant dragon in the middle of a town, there's not a lot of room for spontaneity.
It's not that big, but it is a pretty good color, so I hope you fail.
All right, fine. So Ari gets closer after thumbs upping towards the man, and it's just like, it's okay, we're not here to fuck shit up, even though we kind of a little bit are. Is going to cast Detect Thoughts. So I can, once per turn, so every 6 seconds or so, can focus my mind on any one creature in the area and get their surface level thoughts. If their intelligence is 3 or lower, it doesn't matter. And yeah, so I think I would start with some of these townsfolk, and then as I get closer, once I'm within 30 feet of this dragon tail, shift to that.
Okay. So there are 3 townsfolk standing there watching the human man who has started to look like he wants to engage with y'all. A dwarven man and a human woman are the 3 observers, and then the dragon's tail sticking out. Those are the entities that you see right now.
Yeah, so I'll start with the human guy.
Okay.
His surface most thoughts are.
Okay, so his surface most thoughts are he is concerned that y'all are going to start some shit.
Okay.
You don't know what he thinks the consequences of that would be, obviously, but that is his concern, is you look like you're tough enough to cause a problem.
Okay. I think I would kind of get up close to him and just real quick say hey, what's the deal with this dragon? Whispered, real hush hush.
Okay. So he says he's been here for over a week. His name is Gordolin, apparently, and he's basically been holding the baker and her assistants hostage. We don't know how to get him out. And at this point, he's eaten so much he's too big to make it out by himself. And as you continue to focus or concentrate on this detect thoughts, you can tell he's wondering why you're asking.
Okay. And then I want to switch over to, I assume I'd be standing next to him within this 30-foot perimeter, so I want to switch to the dragon.
The dragon? Yeah. Okay. The dragon is so Gordolin is his name, as the human man just identified him as. He is mostly I'm just thinking about how much he is enjoying the food that he's consuming. He's currently eating like a large cookie. And that is consuming his mind right now. And the human man tries to continue to engage with you. He's like, he's gotten so big now that I'm afraid even if he wanted to get out, he couldn't fit through the door, and if you disturb him and he moves and he kind of gestures, there are like small cracks that all four of y'all notice in the walls. It seems like he is he's not gonna get out without the place going down, basically.
All right, well, y'all have definitely made this place too comfy for him. Like, honestly, he doesn't need to be here. He just likes the food. So let me see what our group can do for you. And Ari comes back to the party and kind of reports like, he's just a fat, happy dragon. The problem is, like, you're not gonna get it. Like, we can't make him leave without causing a lot of damage and probably accidentally killing some people. So I don't know if maybe we want to go do like an extraction kind of mission and then convince him to leave or what. But I think even if we just kill him, it's probably going to hurt a bunch of people.
How are we supposed to extract a dragon?
Well, we'll start with extracting the people.
Oh,
Yeah, moving
that
up.
makes more sense.
Yeah, like a stealth mission. Make sure he doesn't notice us, get him out, and then deal with him.
How about if you do that and I'll kill the dragon?
I think the job's gonna have to be to like talk to and distract the dragon, maybe. Unless anyone else really wants to do that. But I don't think we want to be killing him just yet.
Just let me know when it's time. In the meantime, what is it you want me to do?
Go get people from that building out without alerting the dragon.
I mean, all right. I can do things quiet and careful when I need to.
And shall we speak with these dragons? Or are they, as you say, too fat and happy?
I think we could probably try and talk to him for a bit, distract him, make sure he's not paying attention to the people going in and getting the others.
Perhaps he is pain eating. I do this sometimes.
I want Margot to come with me and protect me in case anything goes wrong. I've got delicate hands and they're necessary for my work.
Yeah, that sounds good. That, guitar and drums, it makes sense.
Indeed. So we're going to go into the bakery, secretly and quietly, so we'll have to case the joint. We need to observe how to get in.
I'll do my best with quiet, but it's not really my strong suit.
Well, suppose that's true. Maybe I take Angelico and you take Margot.
Yeah, Marco, are you good at distracting people?
Yeah, no, I'm loud. It works out.
Angelico, do you think you can keep your emotions in order while we get some people out of the bakery?
I suppose Angelico can manage this.
it's going to be an intense situation in there, People possibly scared. They might have some, story of woe. You're going to have to hold it together.
I shall feel their pain without letting it come through myself. I promise.
Perfect. Exactly. Right.
Just let me get it out of my system.
Shred
Right.
reaches out an awkward hand and just like ever so maybe twice pats mechanically on the shoulder of Angelico.
Okay.
Allow me to sing you a song I just wrote about this exact subject just now.
Oh, God.
With arms wide open. No, I cannot. I cannot. No, I am sorry. You get the idea. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Angelico.
Okay, so it sounds like y'all have your little split teams. Angelico and Shred are going to try to sneak in while Ari and Murgug do a distraction slash whatever else they feel up to mission. Murgug and Ari, what are y'all doing to keep the dragon occupied?
I think Ari would start saying like, man, I wish Shred had left us a little bit of that chicken. But it's fine.
Seriously, though.
Maybe one of these townsfolk has a little bit of food we can try and like get its attention with first.
It seems like it likes bread, I guess.
It does. To be fair, I like bread. There's a lot
delicious.
good about bread.
I kind of wish he wasn't eating all the bread. I would love some right now.
Maybe that can be part of our payment. They can give us a lot of bread.
Well, hopefully some stew also.
All of the above. So I think Ari would talk to the man that has been conversing with her and just ask, hey, y'all don't store any of your bread like anywhere other than the bakery, do ya? Or do you just have some?
I'm sure they have some stale bread over at the tavern and inn, and kind of gestures at a building not too far away that is labeled as a inn, and says, but we haven't had a delivery of any sort of food in almost a week now because this dragon just showed up and threatened us all and claimed all our food. So I don't know what's left, honestly.
That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ari would bolt over to the inn. Like, would I have to like go in front of the dragon for that, or can I?
No, it's back down Main Street kind of thing.
Great. I'd head there real quick. Find any bit of food that probably not look too terribly hard. Like not trying to grab every morsel of food in the place, but enough to wave as a temptation.
Yeah. Okay. I know this is unorthodox, but can we actually take like a 2-minute break while I capitulate my thoughts or whatever, and then we can jump back in at like 7:40?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Okay. I am back and have an idea of where this is going. Once we get everyone back, we can resume.
I do real quick want to say that I think Ari, right before leaving, would like pass off that new signal whistle she just bought to Shred and just say like, hey, once you got everyone out of there, just like blow this real quick so that we know, so we can like stop talking to the dragon.
Okay, I'll try to remember.
You know what, never mind. You're not the right person. Angelico, can you do this for me?
Yes,
Oh,
I will
I'm
take
the
this
right
burden.
person, am I? Guess no one's the right person for everything.
So after that, Ari just like sprints off basically towards the tavern. Is everyone kind of standing around waiting for this, or is Shred and Angelico immediately starting their stealth mission?
I think we would probably wait to start our stealth mission until after they go. Oh, you've already gone to get the food, right? To like gather up some food from the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then yeah, I think we would probably start right away as soon as. Don't you think, Angelica?
Yeah, as soon as it seems like they're headed for the dragon, probably time to get started, right?
Yeah, preferably so that yeah. But I'm gonna wanna like do a little bit of observation of like how's gonna be the right way to get into the bakery and stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you want to roll a insight check for that, just what seems like the best option there, and Angelico, you're welcome to also do such a thing.
That's a 7. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't wash the dice. I should have.
Insight,
Yes.
natural 20.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll allow it. You, looking over the situation, see that there are 2 possible entrances that you see to this building. The first is the door with the dragon's tail flicking about. You imagine it would take some sort of athleticism to get through there without getting slammed against the door frame, basically, by the tail. The other that you acutely notice with your natural 20 is the 3rd chimney of the building. You imagine, since it is not currently burning anything, if you got up there and jumped in, as long as you didn't land terribly, that that would also be a safe way in. You, I guess, both would take some sort of ability, obviously, but alerting the dragon would be the bigger concern with going through the door, and landing on your feet would be the bigger concern with going down the chimney. Which, out of game, door would be a stealth check, and chimney would be an athletics check, which I will tell you with your natural 20.
Well, obviously this door is the only way in. So.
Oh, my pessimistic friend. There is always the sky. And he'll point to the chimney.
Oh. Right. I feel a little dicey about that, but right, up there.
Yes, up there. As for the door, are we worried about making noise? Is that our concern about getting through the door? like stealthy that, or is it gonna see us?
Yeah, so right now this dragon is pretty awake and aware and flitty kind of thing, with its tail randomly, and also when it hears sounds kind of thing. You get the impression that if you alerted it in any way, it might either intentionally or unintentionally try to smush you with its tail, whether that was sound-wise or presence-wise. And while you are conversing this, the one of the bystanders, the dwarven man, says, well, it does fall asleep every once in a while, goes into food comas, if you know. It's kind of due for one soon if you're willing to be patient.
I thought that we were expected to go in quietly. That's why we decided on you, Angelico, so that we didn't have to wait much longer. I really get bored.
Fair enough. Angelica will cast silence around the door. It basically looks like a magical effect. It's almost like the house lights going down in a theater. Just in this little area, you can almost see it. And, if we do seek the front door, it would be quiet.
Very cool. That is very cool. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen you do.
Thank you.
Very cool. Okay. I want to approach the door first.
Mhm.
And because although wimpy, I am overconfident. So I'm gonna try to like sneak in through the door and get a good gauge on what's happening inside the room. Inside the building.
Definitely. Okay. So just like you have been speaking outside the door, but once you enter this radius of silence, everything just, and you expect to almost have like ringing in your ear with how quiet it is, but you don't even hear that. And you walk forward in this, and it's interesting. I don't know if you've ever experienced this kind of magical silence before, but it's almost like you can't hear yourself think, and yourself thinking is the loudest thing at the same time. You get closer to the door, and you kind of watch the tail flick and then relax. And go ahead and just roll a athletics or acrobatics check just to see how nimbly you make it through this door.
It's a 12 on acrobatics.
Okay. The DC was very low. You make it through. Yeah, this the dragon seems fairly relaxed. He's not hearing anything disturbing him, and you make it. You slide on the side of the tail off into the room. You're still within the radius of this silence. And you see the inside of the bakery for the first time. You see chairs that have been like pushed against the wall and tables, seemingly by this dragon, as he has both expanded and taken over in a mental sense this bakery. And you do notice a couple people on the other side of the counter back in the kitchen area that seem to be working on preparing more food. Angelico, are you following?
Hmm.
Is the dragon's head inside the room?
Yes, all of the dragon is inside this. He's a little hunched over, but he is present inside of the room except for his tail. Yes,
Okay.
he looks young, but a lot bloated, basically.
I want to hide real quick as I come in.
Okay. Stealth check then.
10.
Um, he doesn't seem to twitch or move at all as you are still inside the radius of the silence, but hiding behind like a chair or a table. He doesn't visually perceive you, and he doesn't hear you. Yeah.
Sweat.
Man. Yeah, your dice might be bad, but mine are worse. Angelica, what are you up to?
His head is in that building.
Yeah, so essentially the bakery is a fairly large building. The whole dragon, except for his tail, which is extending out, is inside the dining room, I guess we would consider it, of the building. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll follow as close as I can without getting close to the tail. Maybe try and stay close to the door and just keep a bead on what's happening, just so I'm not in range of that tail.
Okay. So you get close to the wall. You also get in. Are you getting inside of the silence, or are you trying to go like around the side or something?
I'll go within the silence for now. Yeah.
Okay. So you also enter your silence, and it envelops you, and everything is unnervingly quiet as well. You watch things flicker, and it's almost like if you've ever been underwater while people are screaming up above or something, you jump in and it's just stops basically. You don't hear the fire roaring inside of the bakery. You don't hear the people murmuring outside. It's just quiet. There are a couple windows nearby if you want to try to keep an eye on what's going on inside right now. But it does look like Shred has made it successfully inside. You are up against the building, and the dragon has not noticed you.
Okay.
I can't talk, right? I can't speak out loud because we're in silence. I can't talk to him out loud.
No, unless you're telepathically communicating or something. You don't have any verbal ability right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just keep a bead through the window, just so I know what's going on.
I am going to. Wait, you're doing what through the window?
I'm just watching through the window so I can keep a visual.
Are you inside or not inside?
Not inside.
You're not inside. Okay. Okay. I want to. Basically, my plan is like this. I want to sneak into the room.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have one of there's two people in there. Three? How many?
Seen two, but the indication from what people have said outside is that there are three. So you expect there to be three total inside the bakery.
Okay. I want to go into the bakery, and I would like to pick one of them that seems to be like, I don't know, not one who's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's like auxiliary if possible, maybe somebody who looks scared. I want to kind of get them and usher them out to Angelico and then disguise self and become them. So that it doesn't look like anybody's gotten out.
Okay.
and then kind of maybe like have a conversation with the head baker, if I can figure out which one that is real quick, and we can like figure out a plan to get everybody out real fast after that.
Okay. That is a lot, and I love that whole plan. I'm going to like break it up a little bit so we can jump back over to Ari and Murgug, but
Perfect.
in this first part, you will be moving out of the silence area a little bit back into the kitchen. You'll basically get to like jump the counter or move around the counter. And then once you get into the kitchen, you'll get your sound back, kind of thing. So the dragon looks it's currently eating something. If you want to roll an insight check, you can get more of like a look into its feelings, I guess.
11.
Was that an 11?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't it looks a little groggy. That is not much of a secret. It looks like it is Thanksgiving at about 3:30 p.m., you know.
All right, cool.
And you, as you start to move along the wall, do see like a third baker assistant kind of moving through. As you're watching, it's two younger folks and an older dwarven woman who are back there.
Okay, yeah. So I'll try to. We can go to the other group or whatever, but my next move is I'm gonna try to just stealth up and be like, "We're here to rescue you," to one of the younger ones, and motion her toward Angelico.
Okay.
Or him, her, them. Motion them toward Angelico.
Love it.
But yeah,
Okay.
let's check on.
Perfect. And for our viewers at home, obviously it is 8 p.m. Pacific right now, and we are not quite done. If you want to hang with us for another 30 minutes or so, it looks like that's how long we're going to be going. If not, catch up with the rest of the episode tomorrow when you've got time.
Bonus time. Fuck yes. Sorry.
Welcome to me
excited.
not knowing how long a one-shot takes. So thanks for hanging with.
0 one-shots ever end on time that I've ever encountered ever.
So Ari, meanwhile, is running into this tavern. You make your way in. You might be panting a little bit. It's not too far away, but it seems like you all out sprinted over there. And as you come in, it's kind of between the lunch and dinner rush. There's like a couple people kind of unwinding with a pint, but no one is eating or loudly talking. And you see a half-elven man at the bar, just like shining a drink or a glass, I guess we could say.
So I think she'd charge in toward just straight at him and be like, "Hey, hi, hello. I'm looking for some food because we're trying to get this dragon out."
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Well, thankfully, I'm the College of Eloquence Bard, so that's an 18.
You are always convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he kind of looks up from what he's doing and says, "Oh, you're trying to get... Okay, what do you need?"
Food.
Food. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he looks a little panicky, but he kind of like heads back towards the kitchen and returns fairly quickly with a roll of bread and a side of like mashed potatoes and is like, is this good?
That should do. Hey, by the way, if our band succeeds at this, we get a play at your end tonight. Thanks. And just bolts out.
And okay, and she's like out the door by then. So you're heading back with your food. As you reapproach the area with your roll and mashed potatoes, you see Angelico like kind of like pinned to the side of the building, looking in the window. You don't see Shred anywhere, and Murgug is kind of in the place you left him for the most part. What's your plan?
I think she would say, hey, Murgug, let's go find where this thing's head might be at, and like run around, kind of around the building, peep through any windows I might see that this dragon's head might be. And like present the food.
Okay.
Unless Murgug has any specific thoughts, feelings, or opinions about what we should do.
Yeah, Murgug, are you also running a lap, or what are you up to right now? You're muted. Yeah.
I'm down for that plan. That sounds good.
Okay. So I will have y'all either both roll perception checks, or if one wants to roll with advantage, that works too.
Go ahead. Mine is garbage.
13.
Okay. So you run around with like this food in your hand, I'm assuming, and you make it almost all the way around when you hear like a grunt through one of the windows that you're passing, and realize that it must be that of the dragons. You have caught his attention with the smell of the food through a nearby window. He very clearly isn't like not 100% preoccupied with it. But if you're slowing down at that sound, do kind of notice that he's sniffing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sound would like make me go up near that window and like, is it like, I mean, is it a glass paned window or just open?
So it is it's a window that has like the wood slats across it, so that you can kind of see up from the outside and down from the inside, but looking straight on, it's solid.
Mm-hmm.
So air passes through it and sight does at certain angles.
Okay. Okay, I think Ari might like sit down right underneath the window with her back up against the wall and like hold the food up and just be like, hey, how's it going?
Okay, so the little dragon hears this and turns, which coincidentally is away from Shred at this moment, and turns towards the window. The whole body kind of rotates a little bit. The tail moves into the bakery a little more. If it's turning to 9 o'clock, Shred is at 3 o'clock, and Angelico might be at 2 o'clock, kind of thing on this orientation of the bakery. The wood of the building does creak a little bit as it rotates inside of this, and the tail does move a little closer to Shred, which might feel threatening. But it doesn't it doesn't like break the building with this movement, and it mostly is just sniffing and seems to be muttering under its breath about like more good food. But at this moment, I am gonna jump back to Shred because I think that it's about time if you want to try to get into the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and time this so that it happens right at the time that the dragon's head turns, right? I'm like waiting for my moment. So
Definitely.
if I can, I want to try to do this at the time that the dragon's head turns.
Yeah, I think that you see your moment as this happens, and you've kind of been like psyching yourself up for it. You know what you want to do. The dragon starts to move pretty soon after you're ready, and you go for it. Yeah. Are you trying to run like around the far side of the counter into the kitchen, or are you like hurdling the counter?
I think that I would probably hurdle the counter. I'm kind of a parkour type of person.
Definitely. Okay. If you want to roll athletics or acrobatics just to see how graceful that is, go for
We'll
it.
mentally shout parkour, but in
Okay.
my British accent. But in
You
my
like
mind,
start in the silence, but like if you yelled it out loud, you might hear "or" out loud as you breach the silence. So good call doing it in your head.
that is a natural 20.
Okay. It is beautiful. You vault yourself into the kitchen. Everyone looks up in amazement. The bakers think about bowing.
As they should, of course.
And
So, excuse me, everyone. We've got a situation here. Wait, shh. We've got a situation. I'm here to get you out, okay? I want this young one here to head out right now. Well, they've got him distracted. I'm gonna make a thing happen here, so don't be freaked out or anything, okay? You go. So I'm gonna try to just like take control as much as possible. I don't know if I need to do a check for that, but I wanna like be very direct that I'm gonna pick one out. You need to go that way right now, and then I'm gonna like give warning that I'm about to do a weird thing and disguise myself.
yeah, roll persuasion with advantage because you look very competent right now.
Totally. So that's going to be a 21.
Yeah. So there's a young elven guy.
That's right.
He's out. Like, yeah.
Go that way. Send him off to Angelico. I'm gonna immediately cast Disguise Self, which involves it involves me actually. One of my tattoos is I have a guitar fingerboard on my arm, and I just like whip my sleeve up, and I'm like, and I like trace like a mad riff on my arm, and then just like from there, starting with my arm, it's like a latex glove almost comes over me, and I just like, and I'm the little baker that just went out the door.
Love it. Okay. And the two others, the old woman dwarf and the human woman that are still in there kind of like take a second and then like compose themselves and just go back to what they're doing.
Okay.
Me, elven boy that you ushered out, kind of slides along the wall and makes his way out. Angelico, you see him come out, and he looks so relieved.
Yeah, Angelico is doing his best to kind of peek in as he watches, him come through the window to like help let him know when to run, when's a good, So he's trying, anyone that comes through that door, he's trying to help guide them out. So he'll just give him a, and then just usher him away.
Yeah, and he gets out and he just like almost collapses just in the middle of town. He looks exhausted. You get the impression that he's been stuck there for a while. Ari's still got this food going on near the window. And Ari, you do hear the dragon go, who's out there?
Hi, my name's Ari, and I was gonna try and slip you a little more food through this window.
I'm more of a sweets dragon myself, and I am a dragon, and I'll do whatever I want, so don't try to get in my way. Have you come to steal my sweets?
No, I'm coming to offer you more.
I'll digest you like sweetbread if you get in my way.
No, I have sweetbread, and it's yours. And tries to like break off a piece and like push it through the like window slats.
Like, smells more like sourdough to me, and like still nibbles on it, but then like seems irritated about the whole situation. Like, he's like, this is stale.
It's still good.
I prefer when I'm eating in this bakery. Leave me alone.
But you just seem so majestic and wonderful, and I wanted to get to know you and chat.
Okay, roll a convincement check. What is that? Persuasion?
Persuasion.
Convincement.
Convincement.
26.
Okay. So he still seems tense, still seems hungry, but also seems lethargic, and is like, just leave me alone for a while. I'm gonna stay here forever. There's nothing here for you. Leave me alone.
And I think Arya's gonna use the cantrip message to talk to Murgug real quick and just send a quick like, hey, he seems grumpy. You got any ways to keep him focused on us?
Start playing music in the road? I'm not really sure.
That's something.
I'll give it a try.
This is great. He doesn't like the food, so they're gonna try a song.
Okay. Murgug, are you also playing? Or is this an Ari solo?
No, this is Murgug.
All right, Murgug, if you're drumming up a song, do you want to roll a performance check?
It was.
Can I give him bardic inspiration? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would like to do that and just be like a quick like, I know you got the rhythm, just like channel it real good and use a bardic inspiration die.
With that, it's a 14.
Okay. So you start drumming. What kind of rhythm is this sounding like?
I don't have an answer to that question.
Okay. So you've got like some sort of rhythm that's happening. You may not be super confident about it, but you are drumming right now. You're used to backing up other people to setting the rhythm. and now you're just soloing. This isn't what you're used to, but somehow it it doesn't seem like it's going awful. The dragon kind of grunts again, doesn't move much further. The building's not coming down or anything, which some musicians might complain about, but you are okay with at the moment. And you kind of soothe it while interesting it at the same time, I guess. So I'm going to jump back over to Shred for a second. Shred, what are you up to?
I'm going to be telling the. Well, okay. I've got. Okay, I'm going to be telling the head baker that I think they should go next. And then I'll disguise myself to be them. And then it won't look like anything at all when I direct and send the other two out.
Okay. So the head baker seems to be an older dwarven woman, like grandma age, at least, gray for sure.
Okay.
Very competent around her kitchen, and seemed to understand what you were up to when you tried to rescue someone. But if as you engage her, what are you saying to her?
I'm going to say, listen, can you get out to my friend and let me look like you next? And then I can direct the other two to leave as this dragon gets more distracted and falls asleep. My friend is waiting out there. I just need to know, do you need him to come in and get you? Or can you go out yourself?
Are you gonna destroy my bakery?
Of course not. If the dragon destroys your bakery, is that better or worse than if you die?
I mean, I understand, but this is my livelihood. I can't imagine life without this, and I'm sure you understand.
I'm sure the town understands that probably having a dragon in here that you go ahead and just feed because you don't want your bakery hurt possibly could put everyone in danger.
It's fair.
I mean, I'd like best to kill the dragon myself. I'd like a jacket of it. But I've been put in my place, so I think it's time that you find yours as well. It's time to get your people out.
Roll either intimidation or persuasion.
I'm gonna go intimidation. I'm being an asshole.
That's a shred for you.
I know, she's like the most hateable character I've ever made. I am
She's the most charismatic, hateable character I've ever seen.
She's terrible. She's the worst. I've dated her in many forms. This is a blast. That's going to be a 14 to intimidation whatever. Roll 14.
I'll allow it. So this baker woman looks affronted at first, and then kind of like sees the look in your eyes and looks like she's weighing her options, and then just is like, will you take care of Jeremy here?
I'm Jeremy. Yeah, sure. I'll take care of Jeremy for you. Could you do you need me to get him to come get you? Does he need to come and get you, or can you get out yourself? Nothing's gonna happen to Jeremy anyway. Everyone's getting out. Which one the fuck is Jeremy?
The only other one. Okay. Yes. I'm ready to get out. Thank you.
Oh, right. I suppose there's only one more. Right, Jeremy. Good, thanks. Thank you.
And as this elven man, apparently named Jeremy, looks up, the older dwarven woman begins to scurry out, also into the silence.
And as she does, I'm just going to quickly redisguise myself to be her.
Okay. You get a little shorter, a little squattier, definitely older, and dare I say less attractive than Shred probably looks. Hopefully Shred can cope with that. But as you kind of watch her scuttle away, she does slide out of the bakery as well. And the dragon kind of like glances but sees you standing there and goes back to sniffing at the food around.
Okay.
The elven man Jeremy seems to be freaking the fuck out. He just like he's like he sees you have turned into her. He kind of saw half of that. He was grabbing some flour during half of it, and he's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we've been here for days. I haven't been sleeping well. We've just been making food nonstop, and now you take away my friends. Who are you?
Oh, Jeremy, God, pull yourself together. It's going to be okay. I've got a friend, he's waiting out there for you. He'll sing you a song when you get there. Just go out the back door, by the tail there. Hurry along now. Be a good Jeremy.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah, no, this is not what I signed up for. You gotta understand that, right?
Well, what baker does, am I right?
Yeah, okay.
Do you feel validated?
Well, I didn't tell you said that.
Ugh. Good. Please go.
Okay. And he makes his way, kind of like crawls more than jumps across the counter, and slides away out the door. Angelica, you see this third and last baker make their way out of the bakery without the dragon seeming to have noticed.
And he'll just usher them away out of silence. Like, take refuge, my friends.
Okay. Ari, you are still up against this window. The dragon seems almost confused by your presence, but he hasn't put together that you're a distraction for sure, it seems like. Are you trying to hold conversation or just be an enigma? You're muted.
Ari is too talkative to be an enigma. So she would be holding a conversation.
Okay. Yeah, so this dragon is like, I guess just kind of ask, like, why are you here if you don't have good sweetbread for you? As I told you, you are nothing compared to me. This whole town bows to me.
No, you're right. I mean, honestly, this whole town thinks you're so great and magnificent. Like, you could probably just be flying around and doing your own thing, being your majestic self away from here, and stop back on in whenever you want, and they'd be showering you with gifts and affection, praising that you came back.
Roll persuasion.
18.
Is that your minimum?
It is, but that time I actually did roll a 10 on the die.
He seems to be mulling that over, and he says, "But I can't get out of here. This is where I am now. I've tried to move, and it seems like I've eaten enough that this is my home now, and I'm happy here. Why are you trying to get in the way of that?"
I mean, to be honest, you're slowing down the production of food. They're gonna run out soon.
For me?
Yeah, they can't get around you to keep cooking.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
27.
Okay. He says, "But how do I get out of here then? If even if I can come back, I'm stuck in here now. I don't want to get crushed by this building, and I've tried backing out the door. It seems futile."
What do you think if the townsfolk spent a little bit of time trying to tear down the back wall? You know, like brick by brick if they gotta, but just moving that away so then you can just back out, leave most of the bakery intact so they can keep baking quickly once you leave. And then hopefully everyone's all right.
Yeah, once everybody's away, also Angelica will blow the whistle, just so they know.
Okay. So I think everyone is outside of the silence bubble right now. And this shrill whistle just pierces the air.
I mean, do you want me to go check with everyone and see if they'd be okay removing the back wall and letting you get out of here? It might take a little bit, but I think they could do it.
Are they gonna keep feeding me in the meantime?
As best as they can.
I have grown tired of this this same food, even if it is delicious. Could use some flesh other than just these carbs, so protein has been lacking from my diet recently. Fine. Talk. I wish I could just shrink and get out of here, but whatever it takes. Just want to leave. I don't know if I can even fly anymore.
Yeah, I don't have a spell to make you small, but maybe someone else in town does. That said, you're truly a great creature. I'm sure you can fly.
Okay. Thank you, little one.
No problem. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
And she bolts around to double check with Angelica and Shred, like, is everyone out?
They are safe.
Okay. So I got the dragon to agree to leave. Now, I think there's two ways we can maybe do it, and the easiest is if anyone has like shrinking sort of spell, we might be able to get it out. Failing that, we might just have to do some real impressive masonry work and remove this back wall.
It's a good thing we have the hammers.
That's why I bought them.
So actually the older dwarven woman who has now escaped looks up and says, I used to know how to make a potion that could diminish someone in size, but I couldn't remember it, and now I'm out of my kitchen, so I'm not sure I can make it, but it does seem like an option, right?
More than anything we have. Do you know any idea how to make it?
I don't quite remember. I know most of the ingredients, but not the proportions. I think that I've got most of it in my kitchen. Honestly, we could even tell it to the shapeshifter that's in there now if anyone can remember it. And like on that note, if anyone wants to roll like an Arcana check just to see if it jogs their memory, if they know what kind of ingredients and proportions go in like a potion that can make something smaller.
Man, I bet if my brother Bell were here, he'd be great at that. But honestly, you're talking nonsense to me. And I rolled a 4.
I got a 5.
Oh my gosh. Murgug, did you think long and hard about that?
I am not there, actually.
Oh.
I believe I would still be in the road playing musics.
Okay, yeah, you're keeping everyone calm and distracted. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think that the congregation of escapees and party members is also on the road, but maybe off to the side from where Murgug is right now. If you imagine yourself more centered. So y'all don't really have any idea. The last hope you can imagine on this side is asking Shred if she knows how to make one, or trying to go somewhere and find something that could do this.
I did just roll a 21 of an Arcana check.
Okay. So honestly, you're outside of the silence, and the head baker woman's voice booms. You hear this as the dragon has kind of been convinced that he wants out as well, and you know the proportions of what you need to make this. You know what you need, you know the heat you need, and you start looking around the kitchen.
All right, I'm gonna rifle through the kitchen and just see if I can like find any recipe or anything like that to like confirm the things that I know. But you know, as I'm going through the kitchen, I'm gonna be just sort of grabbing ingredients here and there, a little bit of find something exotic that like looks like a bunch of little tails. Look at it, it's like not the right kind of tails. Grab the other tails that are in the jar behind it, a couple eyeballs, and then some just plain ass herbs and spices. And then I gotta like scrape a little residue off the side of the dragon scale, just carefully, real carefully, like, and into it. Just try and make it feel like a nice little scritchy scritch. And mix this little motherfucker up. Do I have to roll another thing, or is my 21 good enough to make a good potion?
I am convinced with the 21. I think as you are looking around, you find a little recipe card for like a potion base, basically. You find cauldron type thing going on, and then you know what to do from there.
Yeah, this just happens to be something that I literally just recently took in my noble background lesson plan. So like my tutor was just teaching me some bullshit like this, and I'm not really into it, but I was actually really good at it. So yeah, I throw together this miniature maker potion in a bottle. And do I have to feed this to the dragon now? Or can I give
that to you? If you do not want to be the hander offer, you got to call someone else in. But it's you and the dragon right now in this bakery.
Oh, excuse me, I heard you wanted to get small so you could get out, right? You want to lose some weight there?
If you continue to feed me delicacies when I arrive, yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. We've got so many delicacies. I've got one for you now. It's going to make you small. Here's a cookie you can have with it because it doesn't taste very good. And then you can go, right? We can play the gig. I mean, that one band can play the gig.
I'm not. Okay, sure. I'm getting tired of this. And he kind of with his front claw takes the whole cauldron basically that you have made, kind of coughs at how hot it is because you just heated it a little bit over fire, but coughs it down, and then immediately gobbles down the large cookie that you've found to feed him with it. And as he starts to bite this cookie, suddenly the cookie is looking larger, and then you realize it's because he's shrinking. And eventually the cookie is almost dwarfing him. He is what was once a large, although young dragon. He had ballooned in size a little bit, but now he looks like he could definitely squeeze out the door. And he just kind of nods to you in thanks. And
All right, what's your name again?
Gordolin.
Gorglin. That's a good band name.
Okay. And he waddles out the door. And kind of takes in the street people staring at him. And tries to fly away and makes it about 5 feet and kind of lands on his tummy. And goes, maybe a little longer. But you have successfully gotten this dragon out of the bakery that it was plaguing. And the city seems very relieved. The dragon is much calmer now, less aggressive than it was. If y'all were hoping for a fight or a dragon coat, I am so sorry, but it may not happen tonight.
I'm so pissed.
It's little now. Now's your time, but
It would have looked really good on you.
Wanted that jacket, but I think we have a good chance of playing a really great gig.
And as you say that and you come out, the silent spell is ending, and you all kind of see each other in the street, take each other in the various roles that you've just performed, and start to feel like a cohesive band a little bit. The townspeople have definitely noticed both the favor that you have performed for them and the instruments on your people. And you are invited to stay at the inn for the night, drinks on them, and a stage for all four of you if you would like to perform.
Oh yeah.
Dragon Slay. I really wanted to call our band Dragon Slayer, and like Dragon Persuader just didn't sound as good.
Yeah, Dragon's Bane.
What about Gorglin?
I think both of those options are real good.
Well, maybe we should let the crowd decide.
And yeah, so y'all have a great gig that evening. You can't tell whether it's just your best performance yet, or if the crowd is just very grateful that you got rid of the dragon that has been eating all of their food for the past week. The bakery is still in one piece, and the head baker offers to make you any food or not too uncommon of potion that she can imagine or has the recipe for. And you all have a fantastic night of performing and have successfully solved the problem of this village. Ooh.
Amazing. Lori does at some point during the night want to mention to someone that she did promise that they would feed the dragon. Just like,
That's fun.
Good epilogue.
Yeah, if we ever see these characters again, they will have some of the loot described in this epilogue as far as a potion for each of them of common or uncommon variety. They will have received the gold and anything else promised by Max down at the bottom of the hill when they make it back down. They will have love and adoration of this village, and maybe they'll even level up. But that's where we'll leave tonight. Thank you so much to all four of you and to everyone watching for this wonderful one shot. And I believe next week we will be back to the Mythologue main campaign.
Right. Oh boy, do I ever have some shit in store for you.
Thank
Can we
you,
do a
Allison.
group performance check and just see how our show is?
I would love to wrap up with that. Yes, please.
All right. This is like the closing credits or whatever.
Yes.
Thank God I have a fucking +6 to performance. 16.
Okay.
22.
23.
Okay, so we've got a 16, a 23.
10.
And Marv, what did you say?
22.
22.
And he's going to sing, allow me to sing for all of you this song I just wrote about this exact subject. Hey now, you're an all-star. No, I cannot. You get the idea. You're an all-star. Get your game up. Okay.
And as Murgug taps out a rhythm and Ari pulls out a harmonica and Shred just begins to shred, a better word. You all have charmed the town with not only your actions but your musical ability. And you definitely spend the night here for free and are welcome back anytime as folk heroes of the village.
Fuck you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks a whole
Thanks,
lot.
Allison.
Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I hope you were all as charmed by this party of bards as this village was and as I was. And make sure to join us next week for a regularly scheduled program. Our social medias are Twitter and Instagram at Mythologue D&D. And Facebook, if you search the Mythologue, you should find us as well. Subscribe to those to get notifications to remind you to tune in to our weekly programming on YouTube Live. And thanks again to everyone for letting me DM this week and for letting me go over by almost an hour. This was a blast. And
Woohoo! Thank you, Allison.
yeah,
you.
It
thanks.
was an incredibly efficient and wonderful one shot. It was great.
Uh-huh.
We didn't have any combat, so I hope you guys were okay with that, but you were all very persuasive, so it's kind of your fault.
Dragon persuaders. What can we say, right?
I think I argued against combat every chance I got. So
Even half asleep. So. All right. Well, with that, I don't have anything else to say.
Good night.
Not
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Good night.
We will
Thank you guys.
see you